Welcome to the Unpopped Review, movie reviews from a movie lover and not a movie critic. Now I don't care what anyone says because I think the dance fight scene with Vanilla Ice singing Ninja Rap is my favorite scene in all the Ninja Turtles movies. But we're not talking about that. Instead, we're talking about the new release, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Now this Turtle movie picks up about a year after the Ninja Turtles saved New York City from Shredder. But although everything seems alright, pretty soon everything runs amok, and the Turtles must leave the sewers to stop Shredder once again. Like always, let's start by talking about what's good. They're Turtles themselves, and I mean every aspect of them. I thought the personalities were perfect. They were much better than the personalities in the last movie. Additionally, this movie was about 70% Turtles, while the last one was about 30-40%. This one, you were mostly following the Turtles every step of the way, which means they really had to step up their game with the Turtles, and they did a great job. The personality is great, the graphics are great, even the sounds are great. When each turtle would move, it would sound distinctly different when they stepped, when they moved, because they would have different things on them. It was just those little touches that made it that much better. Now, some of you may think that the designs still aren't that great, and I may agree with you, but honestly, it was just done so well that I'm going to excuse any qualms that I may have about the design. Let's go to Bebop and Rocksteady because they were a very welcome addition to this movie. Being a fan of both the cartoon and the comics, I was so happy to see Bebop and Rocksteady come into the movie, and they were great. It was just so funny to see how they would react to Shredder and how Shredder would react with them. And the last thing I thought was good was the song. Now I'm talking about the theme song, which actually doesn't appear till the credits, but it follows very heavily to the original cartoon, and it was very good. Now that we finished with the good, let's go to the The humans. Now, although some of the humans were okay, for example, Willow Net, when he did have a scene, he was pretty good. But mostly the humans were just kind of a waste. I mean, you have Megan Fox's April, which is already, an interesting decision. And you have Stephen Amell as Casey Jones. Now, even though I do love Stephen Amell and Arrow, and he did do a good job in this movie, you can tell he was just kind of thrown in there. And he was kind of completely pointless to the plot. But I did like how Stephen Amell took a different character from his normal, very serious Arrow. And the last of the humans we got to talk about Shredder. And Shredder was just fine. I mean, he was definitely more present than the previous movie, but he never actually fought with the Turtles, which was kind of disappointing. And speaking of fights, let's go to the final fight. Having the final fight scene be up in the sky on a platform, just like in the first movie, was a little redundant. Now that's what I thought was of the movie. Let's talk about the ugly. Nothing. There was nothing that was ugly in this movie. Now let me go on to say that I do not like Megan Fox at all. And if I was reviewing the first movie, I would say that Megan Fox is the ugly part of the movie, but she was in this movie so little that I just left her as an So with all that being said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows is not a great movie. I would even say it is a good movie. But it is, if you shut your brain off and you just watch it, eat some popcorn, have a good time, it is a fun movie. It's entertaining. I enjoyed almost every second I was watching it. Now, if you didn't like the first movie at all, you probably won't like this one. If you don't like the Ninja Turtles, you probably won't like it. And if you didn't like the trailers, you probably won't like this. But if any of those things you kind of like, you will at least kind of like this movie. Now, since I love the Turtles, and I did like the first movie, and I thought the trailers looked pretty fantastic, I came out of this movie, and I absolutely loved it. And I am going to buy it on Blu-ray, but as a recommendation for this, I'm going to say it is worthy to see in theaters. So that's what I thought of Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. What did you think? And what's your favorite part of any Ninja Turtles property ever? Leave comments below, don't forget to subscribe, and remember to always keep it unpopped.